This is a podfic for Peter is Worthy and So Done. Read by Alextras with permission from the original author who has chosen to remain anonymous. Chapter 3. As a child, Peter used to dream about getting to know Tony Stark and imagined what it would be like to work with the man in his super duper cool lab. He'd painted in his head a picture made with childishly bright crayons, bigger than life itself. Well, while the man was a hero indeed, he was nothing like his childish imagination had made him. None of the Avengers were, which was a story for another time. Aunt May had wisely said that perhaps he could get to know this Tony Stark, and maybe he would learn to like him, flaws and all. Peter wasn't so sure of it, but May was really wrong, which was the only reason why he hadn't gone swinging for the hills when he first met the man behind the mask and glamour. Maybe someday he would even agree to address him by his name, Tony, like he kept begging him to. For now, however, it would be Stark. You didn't insult his super suit, spandex or not, and get away with it. At least his look wasn't a tin can. To think that he used to be a big fan. Yeah, his feelings were hurt when his longtime hero had mocked his suit. And yet, seeing a hero turned human wasn't entirely bad. After the last incident, it was decided they wouldn't test the worthiness of the intern anytime soon. Big tower that it was, there were people still making sure it was strong and secure as ever. The third time it happened, it was once again purely by accident, and only because Thor, for all that his hammer was so special and so important, kept leaving it everywhere. So it was that while he was off gallivanting who knows where, Mjolnir was left behind. The Tony from before would be a little jealous of the grand adventures, which even a genius billionaire like himself could only dream of, but the slowly domesticated Tony was too busy trying to teach Dummy and you how to do a robot arm dance with the help of some video he'd found on the internet. He already had one bruise forming on his chin after the first attempt. That was the scene his intern walked in on. His boss and the robots moving around, making twitching, jerking motions. Are you all right? Should I call someone? Miss Potts, 911, the Avengers? Peter sounded genuinely concerned, which was actually rather nice. Of course, that wasn't something Tony would admit out loud, just like he wouldn't admit that he had a favourite intern. No. For a while, the only sounds were made by Dummy and you, still trying to do the dance, and the faint sound of music coming from Tony's phone. Then, a soft rustling of papers and something being moved. He'd never noticed it until now, but he didn't think he'd ever heard the footsteps when the kid moved around. For someone who was a still growing, awkwardly gangly teen, it was rather odd. I'm having a serious case of second-hand embarrassment right now. Is this what it feels like watching an old person trying to be cool and hip? Peter questioned, with obvious air quotes thrown in. Hey, Tony protested and finally looked up, narrowing his eyes at the bright amusement of a fresh youth. Was this what he used to look like as a kid, looking at all the old people down his nose as boring and, well, old? I am not old. Everyone just looks old to you because you're still an infant. Is there an actual reason for this? What is this, anyway? An experiment or exorcism? Sure there is. I'm teaching them to move. Something. Control. Tony waved his hand. It's very important, top secret Avengers stuff, which a child wouldn't understand. Go away. Anyway, I was on my way home when Miss Potts made me be her messenger. Some contract or something that you have to sign by tomorrow morning. Or else. I'm guessing that means you'll be in trouble. Tony was already turning out. Yeah, I'll look at it later. I'm busy now. I'm serious, Tony. She looked like she'd be having my head too if I didn't get you to look at it. It was honestly kind of scary. I'm just a lowly intern. Don't make me the messenger just to let me suffer. I'm too young to die. Tony stared at him and slowly a smile began to form. Yeah.
Is that all you can say?
Yes. Peter looked around, wearing that same look he always did whenever he entered Tony's domain. Obviously uncomfortable, which was insulting. He should be honoured to be in here. In all the years, only a handful of people had been there, and even less were allowed repeat visits.
Anyway, I'm off now. Don't forget that contract Miss Potts told you to sign, he reminded on his way out. The papers are on the desk under a hammer, so you can't miss it this time. See ya!
Tony rolled his eyes like the child he was when it came to adulting. Yeah, wait, he almost called after Peter. Then he paused to consider the gift that had just presented itself to him, and grinned. Well, now I really can't look at them. What a shame. He made a half-hearted attempt at moving the hammer, then the papers. Friday, make sure she knows I tried, but I am just not worthy enough to move this stupid hammer, he said lovingly. Right then, he loved both the kid and the hammer. Friday sounded almost dry when she replied,
Yes, boss.
Oh, and please tell me I wasn't hearing things. He did call me Tony, didn't he?
He did.
Awesome. Save the footage. Now, what to do with my sudden freedom? Tony restarted the video and made another attempt at the dance. Tony's joy was short-lived. Pepper had made copies of the contract.